Tennessee is the higher seed in the home white. And the honor of officiating this game goes to Lisa Mattingly, Dee Kantner, and Brian Enterline. Taurasi starts with the ball. Connecticut likes to script its first 4 or 5 plays. That usually means that Taurasi gets the first shot.
And Gino Auriemma wants her to touch the ball in the offense in those first 4 to 5 possessions.
She's being shadowed right now by Davis, who is the best defender that they can put on her, and Strother steps in and hits the first shot.
Yeah, just from the tip-off, to me, it bode how this game is going to go, because Connecticut went in there and got that ball when it dropped, and Tennessee just stood and watched.
And UConn goes zone to start the ball game. Zolman baseline. She'll be critical too. Shauna Zolman, who has averaged 11.5 points a game throughout the tournament, slightly under her season average.
Zolman can score a lot of points, and that's huge for any team to come out and hit your first shot, and I think that was really important for Tennessee.
Little jump hook in the lane and a soft touch for Barbara Turner.
Barbara Turner for the Huskies.
A 1-2-2 zone. They'll switch things up, this Connecticut team. They try and keep the offensive team untracked.
Turnaround jumper is knocked down by Robinson. Nobody's missed yet, tied at 4.
Well, that is huge for Robinson, because she has really struggled from scoring-wise for them. She's a defensive prowess in there and can block shots, but she's got to get on the boards like that and get some open looks.
She has already matched her scoring output in the semifinals, and now Tennessee with a chance to take the lead. This is Tasha Butts off to Zolman. Go inside to Robinson, double team as Taurasi came from the weak side. And Conlon will bring it up for the Huskies.
Both coaches, Mike, talked about rebounding on missed shots.
Short on the jumper, Jessica Moore. Both teams strong rebounding clubs. It will be a battle of wills to see who wins that part of it tonight. Eli ran into her own player, tries to get off the shot, maybe a little out of her range. Taurasi tries to push it ahead, knocked away by Latoya Davis and stolen by Butts. And Butts fires from 3, can't hit it.
Really feels kind of like a chess match right now.
Another great play, Latoya Davis. She's going to try to give Taurasi all she can handle, and Tennessee has its first lead and goes full court.
When Connecticut beat Tennessee earlier, Tennessee was trying to adjust without Lori Moore.
Wide open, Taurasi misses the 3. Here come the Lady Vols.
And without Lori Moore in the lineup, their point guard, they had to do things by committee with Tasha Butts and Shauna Zolman. Also, Latoya Davis has been inserted into the lineup, and she is critical as far as what we saw her do on the defensive end with that steal.
She had the game winner against LSU. The shot clock down to 8. Davis. Now the shot clock at 4. Forced to pass inside and another turnover. And Gino Auriemma up to tell Diana Taurasi to slow it down.
It was amazing. Both teams coming off games where they pass the ball quite a bit in their offense and get assists, but 4 assists for Tennessee against LSU.
Taurasi, 17-footer. And the 4th leading scorer in the history of Connecticut basketball is on the board.
And when you have a shooter like that, Mike, you will get assists. They had a season low 10 assists against Minnesota.
Strother with those long arms trying to give Zolman problems in that part of the zone.
Well, they're going to force Tennessee to take the outside shot, but you've got penetrators like Eli, but Eli's got to knock some shots down. She was 1 of 11 in her last game.
Saved by UConn. Davis waiting on Taurasi. And our first whistle of the first half after almost 4.5 minutes of play. Turner had good inside position, and she's fouled by Robinson. The 6'5" senior picks up her first. Turner, only a sophomore, second team All Big East this year. Misses the first free throw. She is a 67% shooter on the season. Gino Auriemma trying to pick up another piece of history tonight with 3 in a row. Didn't take long to shed the jacket for the Connecticut coach at 7-6 UConn. Pat Summitt working during the timeout. Her team down by 1 with 15:35 to go first half. This is the 19th time these teams have met. UConn won 12 of the first 18, 4-2 in the tournament, and in championship games, a perfect 3-0. And as you can see on the bottom of that graphic, UConn, the only team really to have great success against Tennessee in the last several years.
They're only one of 3 teams to have a winning record against Tennessee, Belmont and Union, and that was before 1979.
UConn now matching up in that zone, and Zolman with good penetration but couldn't hit the shot. Nice outlet to Strother, but they don't have the numbers, and she backs out. Davis done a very nice job so far on Taurasi. She's only had 1 open look.
Well, Tennessee putting a lot of pressure on the ball handlers out on the perimeter.
Long shot by Turner. Only her 19th 3 of the entire season.
Well, that'll open things up. Turner struggled a little bit. She was 3 of 7, only 7 points in her last game against Minnesota, but she has played strong in the tournament.
Pretty good shooting so far and a 4-point UConn lead. Eli guarded by Moore.
The zone has really frustrated Tennessee.
Butts goes to the left hand, doesn't get the roll. Ball knocked out of bounds out to the Lady Vols.
And in this zone, which Connecticut doesn't play a lot, but it's interesting watching Gino Auriemma at shoot-around today. He is so precise in setting up spacing, not only on the offensive end, defensive end too.
Eli got away from the defenders inside, and Shira Eli has her first bucket. One of the problems with the zone on the inbound pass.
Well, it looked like they manned that one, and Connecticut got caught behind.
Turner, more offensive rebound. Didn't get the basket, but drew the foul.
Oh, you see, they look like they set up in zone, but watch them move. Turner got picked off, and there was no switch there, so they went man-to-man on that out-of-bounds play, and Tennessee was able to capitalize.
Moore from Palmer, Alaska, who goes to the free throw line. She's been in double figures twice in the NCAA tournament and averaging better than 10 points a game. Taisha Fluker checks in for Tennessee, and a couple of subs for Gino Auriemma. He gets Ashley Battle and Wilnette Crockett on the court for the first time.
Both these teams very familiar with each other, but I think that they both had tough semifinal games, and you'll see both coaches going to the bench. Obviously with Robinson, with 2 fouls, Pat Summitt's got to put Fluker in. Or Robinson stays in the game, but Fluker, she's going with the size factor.
Battle, an excellent defender, a very good athlete, is out on Butts.
You see how Connecticut's really dropping back off Robinson. Robinson won't take that shot.
Fluker working hard to get the ball inside. Then she lost it, and bodies flying. The ball's knocked out of bounds. Back to the Lady Vols again. So they're really big now with Robinson and Fluker inside for Tennessee. And Connecticut really doesn't have anybody that can match that kind of height.
No, and Tennessee's a pretty physical team. They dish it out as much as Connecticut does.
Butts missed the open 3, tried to tip the rebound to her teammate Robinson, out of bounds, and the Connecticut bench going crazy because they thought that was certainly off of Tennessee.
Well, Tasha Butts went for the tip rather than grabbing it. Looked like it was going to be a good idea.
Davis having a tough time getting the ball in. Bounce finally does. Another point-blank shot won't go. The follow is too strong. And then Robinson is hammered as she put it up a third time.
And that's where LSU got hurt, Mike. The second and third opportunities by Tennessee in the second half especially. LSU had done such a good job in the first half blocking Tennessee out, but now you can see that they're coming out at shoot-around today. Pat Summitt was adamant about them going to the offensive glass and getting those second and third opportunities. Something
they have always done very well, and did the first time these two teams met at Tennessee, even though UConn handled them relatively easy that night. Rebecca Lobo and Sue Bird, two of the all-time greats at UConn, back to watch the Huskies play tonight.
Players of the years, Olympians. Steve Rushin, Rebecca Lobo's husband, is right next to her.
Excellent writer for Sports Illustrated. Strother had the ball knocked away. Good defense by Butts, and she's on the run. On a contact, no whistle. Ball goes out of bounds, and they're letting them play in New Orleans.
That's a good no call. And again, this is something that Tennessee worked on in their shoot-around as far as how they were going to switch on those high picks. And Tasha Butts just steps in on the handoff, which Connecticut does a lot of that weaving up top, and you've got to time it. And Butts did a great job on that.
Tasha Butts, one of the seniors on this veteran Tennessee club. Fluker, double team, kicks it back outside. Moving the ball around that UConn zone, not able to get inside. The miss, and the rebound to Turner.
Well, what Connecticut wants to do is force other players that aren't used to scoring a lot of points for Tennessee to shoot the ball.
Strother with Butts on her. Nice head fake by Turner. Right back to Strother.
An even nicer pass after the head fake.
14-9 UConn. Robinson way out on the perimeter, and they'll just fall off of her. But not Zolman, who can really hit the three. Misses. Long rebound taken down by UConn. Battle clears it out to Taurasi. Battle open for three. In and out, back in again.
She hit a shot today at half court and turned around and said, "Who said I couldn't shoot a three?"
That's only the 7th she's made all year. So Turner and Battle, hardly known for their outside shooting, has hit an early three, and the lead has quickly grown to 8 points. You just talked about players you're looking to for points that you don't normally expect. Well, you certainly don't expect them to shoot outside.
Well, the one thing about the Connecticut Husky team, and we talked about the committee that Tennessee has had, so they've had to have balance. But you've got that glowing star of Diana Taurasi. Well, she's only got 2 points right now, and there are other players that can. We've seen Barb Turner score over 20 points. Strother has scored over 20 points. Battle can come in and score double figures, so it's not a one-dimensional team.
Pat Summitt and Gino Auriemma, just tremendous records. 15 Final Fours. That's remarkable for Pat Summitt. NCAA titles, 6 for Pat, 4 for Gino. He is trying to win his 3rd in a row and has won 12 of the 18 meetings between the two. Let's go to Doris Burke. Doris.
Mike, we asked Gino Auriemma what he believed his best strength as a college basketball coach was. He said, "I believe I do a pretty good job of having my team mentally prepared for this moment." I asked Diana Taurasi to elaborate on that sentiment. She said, "We spend the first several months of the season believing we are the worst team in women's college basketball. Doesn't matter whether we win by 30 or win by 2. She said, "But when March rolls around, we believe we are invincible and that there's not another team that can compete with us." They're in pretty good shape early, Mike.
You know what, Doris? They play just that way. When it's tournament time, they seem to crank it up a notch. And Pat Summitt sees her team down by 8. New Orleans, the host city for the women's NCAA basketball championship. We're delighted you could join us from the New Orleans arena, where 18,211 are here to see Connecticut and Tennessee, a pair of storied programs in college basketball, as Connecticut goes for its 3rd consecutive championship and Tennessee trying to win its 7th national title under Pat Summitt. 1 out of 10 for Tennessee after they started hot and they knew they had to. 3 out of 5. Taurasi around a screen. 4 points for Taurasi, and the lead has grown to 10.
Well, you just can't play off her. She uses screens so well.
Quickly into Eli. She spins to the basket and hits.
That's where Eli is most effective, is down low on the block. He's gone into his zone.
From outside, Barbara Turner, who hit her first from there. Brittany Jackson in the Tennessee lineup. She's number 25. Eli being much more aggressive offensively. Can't hit the shot. Knocked out of bounds off of UConn. And while we have a chance, let's go to Mark Jones.
Yeah, in the previous timeout, guys, Tennessee seemed very confident, but during the last one, somewhat deflated in comparison. Head coach Pat Summitt talked about having to go inside and get something on the interior, especially on putbacks. Offensively, going to start looking for Zolman a little bit if they can stay away from turnovers like that. Mike, back to you.
And Zolman was too wide on the pass as she tried to get it into Fluker as they continue to have Fluker and Robinson on the court. Now Fluker will come out, and the 3rd turnover against the Lady Vols.
You know, we talked about Lori Moore, the junior guard, who's on the bench dressed. Her teammates asked her to get dressed for this game today. But when she went out in the Duke game, torn ACL, had surgery, Pat Summitt has had to try and find Shauna Zolman, Tasha Butts, Latoya Davis take over that guard position. They've had some turnovers and have had to adjust.
Taurasi kicks it outside to Conlon, and Maria Conlon with a 3. She is a 41% long-range shooter. We have reached the 10-minute mark in the first half, and the lead is 11 for UConn.
You know, there's no way that you can replace Diana Taurasi next year, but Maria Conlon is going to be tough to replace for them at point guard.
Offensive foul, Brittany Jackson.
You talked about Tennessee continuing to try and be aggressive. Ashley Battle right there, and she slides defensively. 2-time Defensive Player of the Year in the Big East.
The junior out of Pittsburgh drew the charge. Pass a little short from Battle and taken away by Tasha Butts. Butts has had a really solid NCAA tournament. You just get the feeling she's really going to have to step it up tonight if Tennessee is going to win. And Ashley Battle will pick up the foul, I believe. Now they're going to give it to Barbara Turner. Must have been a whistle away from the ball because the steal was by Battle.
We've seen Connecticut and Tennessee both switch up their defenses. They go man-to-man, go back to zone. They're in the man-to-man again.
Sydney Spencer, number 1, in for the first time for Tennessee. An outstanding offensive player, only a freshman. Jackson with a runner, can't hit a nice rebound by Taurasi, and then Spencer reached in and fouled it. Taurasi not only the 3rd leading scorer of all time in UConn, she is the leading assist player in the history of UConn. She's an excellent rebounder, and she's in the top 6 in blocked shots for her career. Taurasi open for 3, got it.
Her release is so quick. She gets her feet set, and she's tough to defend because you don't know whether she's going to take the shot or drive by you.
Eli, too short on the bank, offensive rebound and a foul.
The spacing that Connecticut has, Diana Taurasi sets herself up so well. Look at, nobody is around her. And Sid Spencer cannot afford to leave her, and her mom and dad have been staunch supporters her whole life.
Although they were less than thrilled, at least her mom, that she was leaving Chino, California to go 3,000 miles away to take a scholarship at Connecticut. But I'd say it's worked out all right.
Well, the fact that Gino Auriemma and Diana's mom speak Italian, both her parents are Italian, but from Argentina, immigrants, and that was the connection. Gino Auriemma is an immigrant from Italy, and Diana Taurasi's parents are immigrants, and they have that same work ethic.
Robinson missed them both, but the offensive rebound. Then Robinson into the lane, misses the little finger roll, and it's out of bounds to Tennessee. Free throw shooting, a problem for a couple of the Tennessee players, particularly Robinson, who's only hitting 40% on the season.
Last year in the finals, she was 1 of 6 from the free throw line.
Inbounds too short, taken away by Conley. Tennessee cannot afford to turn the ball over. Strother, scoop shot, she made it. And Strother has a half a dozen, and it's 27-11. And Pat Summitt cannot wait for the TV timeout. She has seen enough. And they're loving it in stores. They've got to be on overload after last night, the way the UConn men took apart Georgia Tech, and now the women are trying to do the same thing to Tennessee.
Well, they're running, and one thing that Gino Auriemma talked about before this game was that we think we can run Tennessee. They didn't have one fast break against LSU. When we get the ball, we're going to try and push it. But we also know we can set up in our half-court game.
Men and women in the Final Four, the teams have done it before without any success at all, however. Connecticut trying to change all that. The men win last night. The women could make it a first-time moment in Division I basketball if they can both win the title.
The size factor you talked about at one point, that Tennessee had Fluker and Robinson in, but they have not been able to take advantage of Lady Vols of that inside play because of the aggressive interior defense of Connecticut.
UConn is shooting 67%. Tennessee only 25% on 5 out of 20. Notice how they back off of Eli. They'll let her take that shot, and it's an air ball and out of bounds. UConn having everything its way in the opening 12 minutes. They're smiling in Connecticut. It's 27-11. Battle goes baseline into a double team. Can't hit the shot. Here comes the outlet to Zolman. She'll pull up for 3 and short on the jumper. And out of bounds to Tennessee. Boy, the shooting has just been dreadful so far for the Lady Vols.
Under 24%.